And hello again, YouTube. It's 2:38 in the morning. It's 2:38 in the morning, and I forgot the date already. That's fine. I'm coming to this other messy room. Oh, I found my headphones, by the way, just now, trying to straighten up this disaster in here. Um, it's Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. Um, so last video, if you didn't see it, just hit the channel page and look for the vlog that has one number lower than this one. Um, Finally saw the city of Phoenix doing something about that. Doing something about a homeless person passed out on a bus stop. Um, I was not even planning on shooting that. I was driving a truck that I was borrowing from somebody, and it. Of course, I don't have my. I didn't have my. Didn't have my phone mount. In that other person's truck, and and I was thinking. I was just on my way home. Well, I was debating as to whether I wanted to go to my dentist office and just chill there in the waiting room until it was time for my appointment, or whether I wanted to, or whether I wanted to, whether I wanted to, whether I wanted to. Sorry, my train of thought has just been shit lately. Whether I wanted to chill there with. I think a lot clearer when I'm walking, so I'm going to step outside. Yeah, as you can see, the apartment is still an absolute disaster. I don't want to talk about that before I come back in here. Hang on, let's make sure I have my keys before I leave. Okay, I do. I need to make a habit to do that every time I step out that door. And while I'm at it, make sure that deadbolt is locked, just in case the ex-girlfriend decides to come over. Yeah, I think she's made it pretty clear today that she's an ex-girlfriend. And I get to that. I'll get that in a little bit. Go walk this way. I like walking this way. It smells really nice out. It's been raining most of the day, so nothing like some rain to clean the air and stuff. Although, well, I guess you can't see it because it's too dark, but as I mentioned yesterday, there's just piles of bulk trash everywhere in this neighborhood. One of my regular viewers comment that in different parts of town it's done on specific days, and I'm aware of that. I don't know what those specific days are, because as a general rule, I don't really ever have any bulk trash. And when I do, I just generally pile it by other people's bulk trash. But it usually gets up, used to always get picked up pretty regularly in this neighborhood. But I can, like, along the fence on the left here in the alley, there's a discarded lawnmower here. I think that's a lawnmower. There's a full-on discarded lawnmower there, old-style push mower. Like gas mower. Man, I used to have a friend that would rebuild those. That was just really good with tinkering with small engines. That used to pick up dead mowers from people and rebuild them, and then sell them for pretty good money. He tuned those motors all up and just make them run like they were new mowers. A little pull start, electric or gas mowers. It's one of those. Not like I have any need for a mower or need to be hoarding any more crap. See how god awful my apartment is. But anyway, so yeah, as I was driving my friend's truck over to, I was debating as to whether I wanted to stop at, because my car was in the shop, debating as to whether I wanted to stop at my dentist and just kind of wait until it was time for my dental appointment, or go home. I ended up doing none of the above, as I as I grass is super wet and I'm wearing my flip flops. Ooh, that's cold on the toes. Uh, yeah, as I ended up um, noticing that at the bus stop um, for the westbound 44, or sorry, the westbound 17, the McDowell Road bus, um, at 44th Street, which is where all the Route 44 start. There's some route, only some of them that go east of 44th Street, but they all start there. There's, as I've mentioned in several of my vlogs, there's a lot of them that'll go southbound on 44th Street as a not in service bus, and then once they hit 44th Street, they turn right and they kind of camp out and the bus pull out. Anyway, so I see what looks like two Phoenix police SUV vehicles there, and what appears to be a homeless guy on the bench, all nodded off asleep with piles of bags and stuff in front of him. And looking at that, I was just like, ooh, I get a chance to actually vlog and record some live police activity. And after as much as I've complained online about the bus stops being overrun by homeless people, I get to actually. I did catch one other time on one of my vlogs where I was riding on, I forget exactly how long ago, but I was riding. I just barely caught the light rail at 44th Street, and I noticed at the bus stop to the north for the Route 1, that bus stop services two routes. It services the Route 1 westbound and the Route 32 northbound. And I noticed at that particular bus stop that, oh, I love that stained glass at night. I noticed at that particular bus stop that there was, of course this gate's going to be closed, so I won't be able to get much closer than this. But this is the big mausoleum at St. Francis Cemetery. I'll zoom in on it. Hopefully it looks pretty decent. I'm on my iPhone, so it should come out looking pretty good. I had one time I just got ridiculously drunk and passed out in the cemetery. I don't even know how I ended up in it. And woke up, and there's a different stained glass window of the same magnitude on the other side of the mausoleum. It's of Jesus, and I thought I was in the afterlife and seeing Jesus. I should never get that drunk. Anyway, where the hell was I? Yeah, so I did one time see police running people off at that bus stop. So I do know that they occasionally do it, but still, like, ever since, like, it's just Phoenix, Arizona bus stops and homeless people are kind of ubiquitous. They just kind of go together like peanut butter and jelly. So seeing it, it's like, this is something I've been, calling for and looking for, and wow, let's see how this is handled. And of course, you want to see that video, like it's the video before this. Just hit my channel and go on video back, and try to put a direct link in the description as well. But it did end with the guy getting arrested. Now, I can only speculate as to what he was arrested for. And I didn't ask any of the officers, because frankly that's none of my business, and I don't think they would have any. Not only would they not have any reason to tell me, I think it would be illegal of them to tell me. I don't think they, that's none of my business, basically. But I am curious. It could have been that they violated him for there is a Phoenix City ordinance that you can't be on a bus stop for anything other than waiting for the bus, and it could be that they arrested him for that. And now I don't think that's one of those kind of things that they typically arrest people for. Generally, they tell them to leave, but I could see Phoenix PD arresting somebody if they told the person to leave and the person just straight up refused to leave. And it almost looked to me like the guy was just so far gone, like whether he was just so tired or whether he was just on drugs to the point where he was nodding off and just was like, fuck you, I'm leaving, you know. And I could see them arresting him in that situation. All right, here we go. More piles of bulk trash, which I've been talking about. Wow, this is huge. Wow. All right, let's make Phoenix look like Portland. This is something that used to never happen in this neighborhood. This is crazy. I moved to this neighborhood like 6 years ago, and this was just, I mean, Arcadia was just known as being one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in Phoenix, and now it's just piles and piles of trash everywhere. There can't be this many people that have put out their trash. I would imagine most people are able to go to the Phoenix City website, or they know when the bulk trash pickup is. I don't, because I don't ever dispose of bulk trash. But there's no way there's this many big piles of bulk trash in this neighborhood for any reason other than Phoenix just did not pick it up according to schedule. I don't know. I need to do some Googling about that, because I'm really curious. All right, more apartments for rent. Arrow, Phoenix, now leasing. Studio and one bedroom, newly remodeled. Washer, dryer. 602-957-4999. Still don't know where Priscilla's apartment is. Kind of curious if it's here. Now leasing, newly renovated. She did mention something about having a front door and a back door. So I don't know. I guess she really wanted. I never did say in my blogs yesterday morning, about what happened with me and Stephanie on Saturday night. So I guess Priscilla was wanting me to stay the night with her Saturday night after I left the bar, and I don't think she expected me to stay at the bar that long, because frankly I told her, I think I told her I wasn't planning on it, and I wasn't planning on it, but I ended up, as much as my tooth was hurting, and mind you, my tooth was hurting bad. It was cracked, and as I'm sitting there drinking my soda, I've got like chunks of my tooth falling out, little teeny tiny chunks, like grains of sand falling out my mouth. I mean, they literally felt like grains of sand. And anyway, Stephanie ended up sitting next to me, and her and I just sat and talked. And I've known Stephanie a long time. I want to say only 17 years. Only 17 years. And once upon a time, she stayed a night at my place in Tempe, and that was a good night. So we kept having inside jokes about that while we were sitting there. While she was drinking and I was drinking soda. I think she was drinking beer. I like girls that drink beer. I don't. I feel bad saying this. Look at that, more bulk trash. I feel kind of guilty saying this, but I really do not find her physically attractive anymore. She's just, I mean, she's older than me, and at this point I rarely find women my own age attractive. So there's that. And then she's a pretty big woman. Not that that's necessarily a no for me. I mean, granted, she was not particularly small when I met her, but she's gotten a lot larger in the last like 15 years. But it was good to hang out with her. I really enjoy her company. And at the end of the night, and I hadn't really made any concrete plans with Priscilla as far as going to her place or her coming by the bar or her meeting me somewhere. Just there were no plans at all. Um, Other than, hit me up later. Okay, I'll hit you up later. So the sprinklers are coming on right now. Oh, it just started to come on and then turned off. It's crazy that the sprinklers are running in this park today after it literally rained all day yesterday. Like, why does the city of Phoenix not have somebody that kind of controls that? And after a day where it just rains like crazy, not run the sprinklers for a couple of days? I mean, come on, city of Phoenix. It's hit the national news that we're in a drought situation here in Arizona, and all the reservoirs that supply Arizona are frighteningly lower than ever, low at an unprecedented level. But yet you're still going to run the sprinklers in a city park, when the lawn's all soaking wet still from it raining nonstop the day before. Like, what are ways we could save water? Maybe turn off the sprinklers when it's already wet everywhere. There's a good way to save water. I mean, look at this. We got puddles here. It's been wet. Anyway, end of the night. Stephanie asked if I wanted to go ride with her or wanted to hang out with her, and I was like sure. And I get in her car. She's got a nice car. She's got a fairly recent model Camaro, so which is a lot nicer than my beat up 2006 Saturn that I was at the time paranoid about overheating. By the way, I got that fixed today. Got that taken care of today. So got a lot of major things taken care of today, but today was incredibly traumatic in so many ways. There's some good things happened today, but a lot of absolute trauma today, most of which centered around, here we go, more big puddles, most of which centered around the dentist. I didn't think I had this much. This was going to be a short video showing the mess of my apartment and me declaring that, it's been almost 2 months since Priscilla's been out, not paid any rent. It's time to box the shit that she still has in there up. It's well past time to do that. That was what this video is going to be about. That's all this video is going to be about. And I was going to, that was it. That was all I was going to do for this video. Silly me. And I realized I had a lot to say, so here we are at 48th Street in Thomas, watching the light change by itself because it's on a timer. And there's another one of those cactus asphalt hiring event, September 17th. That date already came and went. Oh, which reminds me, something I was going to do yesterday that I ended up not doing was trying to get my Social Security card. I really need to put that on the agenda today. By the way, Adam Gilligan told me that I had breakfast with him yesterday. Told me that he did get his Social Security card. Said it was really easy. He just went right in there, and I asked him what he was there for, and he said he was like in and out, and they said he would mail it to him. And he did tell me that he has a place to receive mail locally. So, and we had this great discussion about how difficult it can be to receive mail when you're homeless. And then we were both talking about how we used the same place to receive mail back in like 2004, 2005. A place that no longer exists, but we used to be called the Homeless Post Office. It was a privately run charity organization it was what it was, the Homeless Post Office. But it was the place had like a real address. It would give you an address to put on job applications, and it would give you an address to put on government applications when you're trying to get your birth certificate and try, from another state. My birth certificate definitely lost. I got to try to recoup that from California again. It had a lot of So it was great having like a real address, and it was kind of neat, like knowing that wow, somebody else remembers this and used this, and I got to tell him the story about how once upon a time my psychotic ex-wife made some kind of crazy false allegations against me that resulted in the people at the homeless post office getting swarmed on by Phoenix PD with a whole bunch of guns drawn. They were on a manhunt looking for me, and actually, now that I think about it, that might not have even been my ex-wife's doing. That might have been. That's what I told Adam, and that's generally what I was thinking of. But now that I'm thinking about it, trying to remember that incident, that was so long ago. I think that was a situation where I actually caused kind of a scene at the Superior Court, and then I disappeared, and I think they were, I don't know. I've had some crazy experiences, but anyway, I just remember going back to the homeless post office to get my mail, and them being like, dude, what the hell was with the police looking for you yesterday? I'm like, what? And they told me about all these cops and stuff swarming them with guns drawn and shit, coming in like they were in a hostage situation or something. And they ask about me, and they're just like, this is the homeless post office. He gets mail here. Can't tell you anything else. They might have given a physical description of me. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows how much information they gave and how much they held private? I could care less either way. I'm sure the police had a pretty good physical description of me. Anyway, they could look at my 1991 Department of Corrections record. I got a fabulous mugshot, by the way, somewhere. If somebody knows how to look it up. I was in prison in 1999, and my Department of Corrections mugshot looks like a fucking glamour shot. I just, man, I just kept myself really good when I was young, and oh yeah, I was just looking good at that age. My hair was like flowing and perfect, and I just gave them. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the vlog. I'm sure I've mentioned it at some point, but how many of these stupid videos do I have, right? I went to modeling school in 1995, John Casablanca's modeling school, and as I was recommended by a recruiter for the Elite Modeling Agency in Scottsdale, which I think was a nationwide modeling agency or worldwide modeling agency, and they had a branch in Scottsdale. I was out at a club in Tempe in 1995. I recently broke up with my long-term girlfriend Tracy, and I was having this great rebound relationship, and I was out on a double date with her, and then my little sister Kimberly. Oh God, I miss her. She's the one sister I've already lost, like lost. Kimberly and whoever she was dating at that time, and whoever that was, I don't think I ever met him again. But we went on this double date, and somebody's like, "Hey, can I take your picture?" And I'm just like, "Why?" "Oh, well, I'm a talent scout for a modeling agency," and I just thought it was, some kind of like, "Yeah, sure you are." It just seemed funny to me, but whatever. I'll smile for the camera. This, was fun, and it seemed to amuse my date. Oh, there were steps there. I thought I was running out of walkway there. It seemed to thoroughly amuse my date. Noise pollution, motorcycle. This looks like a nice little independent coffee shop over here. Some outdoor patio and wow, this looks nice. Not really a coffee person, but I used to love going to coffee shops when I was younger. That looks like a nice little hangout, and it's not a Starbucks, so I'd have to check that out sometime. Anyway, yeah, so this I remember the name of the photographer, and I'm not sure if, and I think he was actually a scout for Elite, if memory serves, but his name was Elliot Linsis, and I guess the guy was a really famous fashion model photographer. All right, we got another stolen shopping cart here. Such a classy neighborhood. It's so weird. Like this is an upscale neighborhood that's just been invaded by the homeless. It's we've got our fancy, high-end coffee shop there, and then right adjacent to it, stolen shopping cart. And I'm at 25 minutes. I should start walking in the general direction of home. Oh, but you know what? I think I'm going to walk all the way to 44th Street, and then walk southbound at 44th Street and see if I can get some nice video footage of the homeless zombies along 44th Street. See if that's still a thing. 'Cause lately, there's been a lot of homeless people in front of the Arcadia Crossing Shopping Center on 44th Street, between the little wall that kind of hides the parking lot from the street and the street. And it's really easy to not see them when you drive on 44th Street, because that's a strode that everybody drives so fast on, and it's easy not to see them from the parking lot because they're below the little wall that's between the sidewalk and the parking lot. The wall is so popular in Phoenix, as you see right there. This one that separates, which to me is just a real deal breaker for having walkable communities, but Phoenix loves them. And that's the Arcadia Crossing Shopping Center right there across the street. Definitely the biggest power center in this part of town, and replaced a traditional mall. That's where Thomas Mall used to be. By all means, not the only shopping here. I mean, notice we got a little strip mall in here that appears to have a lot of vacancies in it. Dang. New smoke shop, that's kind of neat. Yeah, looks like quite a few vacancies there. Arcadia Link, that's what that little strip mall is called. And Spartan Pita in Euro. I've ate there before. Spartan's pretty good. It's kind of pricey, but it's pretty darn good. I should probably go back there again. It's just kind of out of my budget right now. Everything's out of my budget right now. Shit, I damn near got fired from Amazon over this last stay for my teeth. And I should probably get back on what I was talking about was there, but oh yeah, so hard to follow me. There's so many things going on in my head, and I get sidetracked so easily. National Cremation Society. It really burns me up. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I became a like I got this call back that I didn't expect from I didn't think that guy was serious at all. I get this call back, and it was, "Hi, we're at the Elite Modeling Agency. Are you interested in blah blah blah? Would you come on town?" And yeah, that's very interesting. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, Yelo Superstore. I was thinking it's lasting impressions, windows, doors. All lasting impressions there. Yelo Superstore. I don't know what the hell Yelo Superstore is. I was thinking I was at Sugar 44 Strip Club, but that's on the other side of McDonald's. Anyway, I actually worked as a professional model for the better part of a year in 1995, and that was overall a really great experience. And I learned a lot about how to do my hair and my nails and my makeup. That sounds gay. No, that's if you're a man and you work in work in film or fashion modeling or whatever, which, contrary to popular belief, there are straight men that do that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were plenty of gay men that were working right alongside me, but yeah, plenty of straight. There's the titty bar. But anyway, no, I after that, and one thing I definitely learned from that experience was how to strike a pose. So when I was getting my mugshot taken by the Department of Corrections, I brushed my hair out perfectly and just cleaned myself up as good as I could, and I struck a pose. my 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 Department of Corrections IT picture looked like a freaking glamour shot. For that matter, so did my Maricopa County jail mugshot from that state of jail before I went there. Um, good times. I don't even remember what I was talking about before I started talking about like mugshots that look like a glamour shot. I know that picture of me is still up. I've found it before. Nothing. Those mugshots just don't go away. Oh, I'm glad I have some mugshots out there that look like glamour shots, because God knows how many famous celebrities. A zombie crossing the street over there. How many celebrities? How many celebrities have glamour shots? Or I'm sorry, have mug shots that are really, really unflattering. Three that come to mind is Nick Nolte, Clint Campbell, rest in peace, and another Arizona one, Linda Ronstadt. Linda Ronstadt, an incredibly beautiful woman, but man, when she got her DUI like 20 years ago in Tucson, that was not a flattering mugshot. I got what's left of the Adrian Fontes for Secretary of State sign. Can't believe I'm fixing an Adrian Fontes sign, but oh man, just listening to so much of the local news about what's going on with the upcoming election, I can't believe I'm doing a 180 on Adrian Fontes, but here we are. Apparently his morning. Wow, found some samples with the shopping cart. Missed my golden opportunity to ask what was in the shopping cart. But that'd have been rude. That'd have probably been rude. Anyway, yeah, I was hearing this morning that God, I don't make me vote Democrat. God damn it! But you know, his opponent, the Republican running for that position, is trying to abolish early voting and mail-in voting. He's actively trying to abolish it, and while mail-in voting and early voting, I do think it's caused some problems in the 2020 election in some states. Arizona was scrutinized more than any other, and it was a big news thing. In fact, I've got the hearing when it was in front of the Arizona State Congress at the state capitol, and they were giving all the findings for what the investigations found out like a year ago. I've got that on one of my vlogs. As I just happened to get in my car and I turned on the radio, and KTAR was broadcasting it live, so I just shut up and turned on the radio and just recorded it into my vlog. And yeah, they found that there was no issue with it, and I feel the reason for that. And I know I've had some other conservatives just tell me that, oh no, you're wrong. It's all mail-in. It's all fraud with mail-in voting. Arizona's had early voting and mail-in voting for a long time. We were one of the first states to have it. We were definitely one of the first states to have it, and we've got a system where they don't just mail out ballots to everybody like some of the states did in 2020. You have to be registered. You have to either specifically request it, or you need to be on the permanent early voting list, which I am. And even that, they require every so often that you send back a card and tell them, hey, I'm still here and I'm still interested. And I always send those back. And then they keep a signature on record, and they verify every ballot with a representative of the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, and usually also the Libertarian Party, overseeing the election worker to make sure that the signature on the ballot matches the signature on your voter registration. And which is one of the reasons that Maricopa County is always super late with their final counts in the elections. But yeah, I strongly believe that Arizona has had, and now there's other states I've got some questions about. Georgia, looking at you. Nevada, looking at you. But I feel like Arizona's got it together. I've always, now I have voted in person sometime, but I've always these 4 urban campers next to the behind the these 4 urban campers over there behind the security thing. Yeah, and there's another trolley. Do I have any British watchers? I just called it a trolley for you Brits. Yeah, I do think Arizona's early voting is secure. I've used it for a long time. Oh, look at this. Look at this shit. This isn't a bulk trash fail. This is a homeless people bringing their trash and stolen shopping carts to the bus fail. Oh, we got another one of these. Wow. Not only is the bus stop absolutely trashed, but they smashed out the glass again. Man, this vandalism pisses me off. I really hope when we get a new governor, they can take care of that. I mean, granted, that's a City of Phoenix problem, but you know, hopefully City of Phoenix can take care of it. Yeah, this is the stretch I was talking about on 44th Street that has a real issue with homelessness. I don't know if y'all could hear it when I walked by, but there was definitely a handful behind those power boxes, those utility boxes. And here we got another empty shopping cart, or shopping cart full of garbage. What's in here? Oh, we got 2 empty shopping carts full of garbage. And some Hurley flip-flops that look similar to my Adidas ones. It smells like fentanyl. It smells like burnt fentanyl. We got some of the little homeless person bumming by the side of the road signs. That's lovely. I smell burning fentanyl. They might be hiding in the bushes smoking it right now. It seemed like the smell was coming off those shopping carts, though. Oh, yeah. You know, this used to be considered a higher-end power center. I think it still is. Mayor Kate needs to get a grip on her homeless situation here. No, I still haven't made it to the clerk of court to get that response from Phoenix, which was due literally a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I said I was going to get it right away. It's been 2 weeks. Well, sometimes life jumps in the way of my hopes and dreams. Anyway, yeah, I got a feeling I'm probably going to be begrudgingly voting Adrian Fontes for no other reason than I can't stand behind somebody who intends to dismantle Arizona's actually quite functional early and mail-in voting system. Not down with that at all. A lot of things I'd rather do on election day than stand in long, ridiculous lines at the polls. I've had many times I've been that guy, which causes the election results to come in late, where I've waited till election day to decide who I'm going to check, but I still have my early voting ballot, and I fill it all out and sign the envelope, and instead of standing in that long ass line, I just walk right to the front of it, and I'm like, where's the box for completed ballots? And oh, I just saw an urban bunny, and they'll point, and I'll there's a bunny living over here, which means that the riffraff haven't been over here too much if the bunnies are seeking refuge here, which doesn't surprise me. I'm sure IHOP doesn't put up with them. Then again, it does look like IHOP's putting up with them. And for those who don't know that stance, that's a fentanyl dance right there. That's a person, by the way, not a dog. Almost looks like a dog in that position. That's a person. Oh, on we go. I would imagine the staff at IHOP doesn't know that person's there. They'd run them off. Anyway, yeah, found some zombies. Always seem to find some zombies walking around here. Didn't expect to see one that close to the IHOP, though. You know, it doesn't sound like IHOP has their music playing out front. They used to always have pretty good music playing out front. You could hear around here. That's something I really, really appreciated when I was homeless. Was going to places and kind of loitering near places that would leave their music on all night long, that had whatever satellite music service they were using that actually had music I liked. I used to love one of my favorite places to hang out in the middle of the night when I was homeless in like 2004, 2005 was the and I don't think it's even there anymore. I think it's been bulldozed, but the Burger King used to be at Central in Virginia, a quarter mile south of Yossi's, where my homeless friend loves to stay the night. Used to like to hang out there, and I wouldn't stay the night there, but sometimes I would just chill there and literally just kind of sit. Sometimes I would read, and sometimes I would just kind of relax, and I'd listen to the music they had on, just sit on their patio, and it was always a nice clean spot. And for whatever reason, other homeless people absolutely did not go there. So it was a pleasant space for me. I got really pleasant memories of just sitting there and enjoying the commercial-free music on speakers that actually sounded really good. Which was something I really missed after losing my house in Tucson. I had a really high-end audio system, and really decent audio systems in every room of the apartment, or every room of the house. I had a 3-bedroom house in Tucson, and yeah, miss that. I mean, I got great sound systems in my place now. I just need to. Ooh, I hear a bum fight. I hear a bum fight. looks like got a few people squatting in the old drive-through from the drive-through that was left behind from the drive-through cleaner. Speaking of drive-throughs, it looks like the Salad and Go new Salad and Go drive-through is getting ready to open soon. Also, speaking of drive-throughs, brand new City Nerd video about fast food drive-throughs. Quite fascinating video. It was a good watch. I should put a link in the description for that. I don't know who that woman's. Oh, I found the other person she's yelling at. It seemed like she was just yelling, walking around yelling at herself. There's another person yelling too. I really thought that the armed security guard at QT would be getting rid of this riffraff here. Maybe he's not working on Wednesday nights. Maybe he's just working weekend nights. I don't know where the woman went. Her voice kind of disappeared in that direction. There are a lot of zombies between here and my home. Look at that. I'm thinking that's more drama than I want to walk through on the way home. So I won't walk back the way I came. Actually, I think I'm going to take the cut through the back of this little shopping center. I don't know what the name of this particular strip mall is. I don't even know that it has a name. Maybe I'm not going that way. I see somebody else walking through there. Like he's going right through the walkway I wanted to use. It's got a little excitement on this walk. This was going to be like a 3-minute video. I showed the mess in my living room and talked about how I was ready to clean it up. Obviously, I'd rather just wander around and talk to myself and watch bums. Yeah, I never did finish my story about what happened Saturday night. So anyway, I went for a pretty long drive with Stephanie and showed her some. Heard him have to be quiet walking around that corner. Oh yeah, they're still kind of walking. I think that's the guy that walked through. He looks like he's walking on. I think if I just walk directly straight through to Costco, nobody will fuck with me. They definitely need some more security in here at night. This is ridiculous. Really bummed this place closed. This building is the old Montgomery Ward Auto Center, left behind by the Montgomery Wards from the Thomas Mall when they closed Thomas Mall down. Thomas Mall closed in like the mid-90s, might have even been early 90s. That's a long time ago Thomas Mall closed. Thomas Mall used to be right here in this parking lot. Its design was very similar to Christown and the old Tri-City Mall. And it used to sit, like there you see the main strip mall for, there you see the main strip mall for Arcadia Crossing. And it used to actually sit forward of there, kind of in the middle of that parking lot. Maybe, I would say like the back wall of Thomas Mall is more or less where the front wall of the Arcadia Crossing strip mall is, and the anchor on the mall, like the main interior walk through the mall, went north and south. The anchor on the south end of the mall was Montgomery Wards. Montgomery Wards pretty much set where this empty parking lot is here between PetSmart and Costco. That's where the Montgomery Wards used to be, and directly in front of the Montgomery Wards is the Montgomery Wards Auto Center. And I love that this building is still standing, because that architectural style of cinder blocks with those custom cast, that design, that was the design of the Thomas Mall. That I don't recall it being painted such an odd color, but that was definitely the style, which was kind of unique to Thomas Mall. And it's the only thing I have where I can still kind of walk out here and go, oh God, I miss Thomas Mall. This building sat vacant for a very long time. It's been sitting vacant almost 2 years now, but for about a year, most of 2019, it was Ale's Trumpet Ale House. And it was a microbrewery and a really nice hipster kind of restaurant and ale house. By the way, those are hops. It's supposed to be hops. They look like artichokes. Had a good friend that was working there as a cook. I haven't seen him in quite a while. Last time I saw him, he was actually working at a bar at 27th Avenue and 27th Avenue, and I was working at 8 Nick's, 27th Avenue in Glendale, and was didn't want to have a discussion with me as to why it was okay for a woman to walk into the bar with a purse, but that I couldn't walk into the bar with my clear Amazon bag that they can see through, that's clear, that's allowed by Amazon security, whereas the purse would have to be x-rayed. But my translucent clear Amazon bag was inappropriate and had to be left with them. Anyway, no hard feelings with Santos for that. Obviously, that's something coming down from his boss, but I miss him. I should go back there, see if he's still working there. Santos is a good guy. I don't know if I've mentioned it on my vlog, but the Costco here, the entire kitchen, the whole like food court area is being renovated. It's not supposed to reopen until around Halloween. Oh, we have somebody here at the Costco. That's unusual. Not a spot I'm used to seeing zombies. Usually they stay away from spots that are this brightly lit. Reminds me I got to come here and find out what's going on. I don't know if my membership got canceled or what. I haven't been opening my mail in a while. Food court will be closed August 15th through Sunday, 10:30. Apologize for any inconvenience. Yeah, I missed my pizza, guys. Dang. I was going to come here and apply to be a forklift driver for these guys. These guys use just to save me the money and hassle of commuting to Amazon. These guys use, and I hear that working for Costco is really good. These guys use Raymond electric forklifts that are just about identical to the ones that we use at Amazon. I still can't pronounce the name Jungakrich or something like that. I can't pronounce the name of the brand of the ones that I drive at Amazon, but these ones here nearly identical. And the woman who did my recertification a couple weeks ago at Amazon, she told me that we were going to be at Amazon going to be switching to the Raymond models sometime soon. Sometime in the future, we'd be switching to these same Raymond forklifts because they have some kind of a GPS tracking in them. So we can find out where you're at in the building. It's kind of funny that the warehouse is so big that they actually want GPS tracking to figure out where the forklift operators are with the forklifts. Like, really? Am I that hard to find when I'm working? I didn't think I was. Now, speaking of forklifts, there's a big old pile of pallets. It's an odd place to see them. How sick is it that I can look at those from this distance and know that those are actually CHEP branded pallets, as are all of those over there. I haven't been working the pallets lately at the Amazon warehouse I work at, but I'm still very much the pallet guy. I'm the guy that knows everything about the pallets. Oh yeah, these are all CHEP pallets. I like the CHEP pallets. See how neatly they stack, perfectly straight. And when I do my stacks of mixed wood pallets, and I'm stacking up wood pallets, I always start with the CHEP pallets because of that exact reason. They're heavier and thicker and sturdier than most of the other pallets that we use, and it makes for a good foundation to stacking the rest of them on. And if you think I'm kidding about the CHEP thing, that little C logo, that is their logo, which is branded on all of them, some of them clearly than others. And if you look here, it says right there, property of CHEP. Kind of curious if they legally retain ownership of them, because my understanding those things just move around from warehouse to warehouse to warehouse. But anyway, I'm missing my job. What can I say? All right, that guy's following behind me. If that's security, I'll have a conversation with him. It's all good. Worst he could tell me to do is not record through here because it's his private property. We got all kinds of pallets back here. I like how they stored them out, stack them out. Oh, now see, I would never do that. We got plastic pallets and wood pallets in the same pile. Those red ones are a different company. They're built exactly like the CHEP pallets, but there's a different brand on them, and I don't know what that brand is. At Amazon, I never stacked the wood with the plastic pallets, although quite often I end up being the guy that has to separate them because some newbie line loader ends up just piling the plastic ones on top of mixing them in with the wood ones, and then some water spider will bring them back to the pallet loading zone without separating them. And maybe they don't know, or just maybe they don't care. I can kind of get behind the whole concept of not being paid enough to care. I can get with that. I mean, there's times I kind of feel that way too, although I'm still trying to not lose my work ethic. Yeah, I'm thinking that was security. He kind of followed me out. Now he's doing an about face. Well, it's good to know there's security there. I'd hate to think people were stealing there. I'm just walking through because I didn't want to walk through all that drama. Oh, I thought I could still hear it for a moment. Nah, it looks like it's done. Dang, I can't believe I've gone on a walk for over an hour. Yeah, so much for me cleaning my living room, right? And I still haven't finished the story of what'll happen Saturday night. I just went for a long drive with Stephanie. She told me that she really misses hanging out with me, and she made it clear she's interested in being more than friends. I feel kind of guilty because I'm not, but it was a good time hanging out with her, and I showed her some places in Phoenix that she'd never been to before, including some really scenic mountain views from the edge of the Phoenix Mountain Preserve, and some really scenic drives and streets through the town of Paradise Valley and also the city of Phoenix. And so much of my vlog is me driving down streets that are just that are not scenic streets that are full of homeless people, or just the ugly ass streets that I drive, going to work and back. Although it's always entertaining to see what's going on 27th Avenue, down on the Blade. Of course, there's plenty of other channels that are giving you that coverage of Phoenix streets. But yeah, some days I should really drive through some of these streets that I took Stephanie on. Well, I mean, she was driving. I was just kind of telling her where to go. But I don't know. We kind of hugged. I think she was hoping to make out with me, and I just wasn't feeling it. Priscilla tried to call twice. I just turned my ringer off because I just didn't want to have that conversation in Stephanie's Camaro. I absolutely didn't want to have that conversation in Stephanie's Camaro, and I mean, if she wanted to make plans with me, she really should have. There was all Saturday night while I was sitting at the bar singing karaoke, where she could have messaged me on Snapchat or could have messaged me, text message, and been like, hey, when you leave the bar, come to my apartment. This is the address. She could have done that, and she didn't. So, yeah, towards the end of the night, and here we see more bulk trash piled up in the alley. Lots of bulk trash in my alley right now. What makes me, the bulk trash, it actually makes me nervous, just because Phoenix, and thank God it rained like crazy yesterday, but because Phoenix is typically so dry and arid, is all this landscaping waste from, cut palm leaves and cut branches, landscaping waste, which typically goes in the bulk trash. It's so much. I've been seeing so many homeless people rummaging through the bulk trash right there. In fact, speaking of homeless people, check this out. So there was some guy, I'm convinced he was a homeless person, I don't think he's a resident, that was here in these bushes, and he cut them all up like this, and he was here, no shirt, shorts, and a machete. I mean, I don't know, maybe the landowner paid him to do that. I was half tempted to drive around the block, try to figure out what house it was, and knock on the door and say, like, hey, do you know there's a crazy guy behind your place with a machete hacking at your bushes? I don't know, guy looks like he did a pretty good job with it, though. Maybe they did hire him to do it. I don't know. It was sketchy, though. The guy was waving a machete around, and then when I rolled by, and this is after I left the dentist, so mind you, I was in a lot of pain. He was just mean mugging me. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna keep moving. I don't really want to have a confrontation with the dude with the machete. He looks unstable. Anyway, just going home with coming back towards my place with Stephanie. I mean, from the moment we left the bar, she's like, hey, I want to go to your place and hang out and listen to music. And I'm just thinking about the last time she came to my place and hung out and listened to music, and she's like, we don't even have to have sex. I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, I'm not really comfortable in having anybody at my place. My place is just too messy right now. And she's like, no, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. So how about we go to your place? I'll go to your place. She's like, well, I have all my grandkids there. I get the feeling she's probably raising her grandkids, or it could be she has her kids and her grandkids living with her. Living expenses are crazy nowadays. It's really tough for young adults with kids that, to make enough of money to afford a place for them and their kids. There's a lot of multi-generational households right now where they're living with young parents, or living with their kids and in their parents' place. So kids live with their grandparents, but 3 generations living in a house because that house was purchased back when you could buy a house in Phoenix for $50,000. I mean, nowadays a piece of shit, a dumpy place in the hood is like $350,000, and any kind of desirable house you're looking at anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million nowadays. So yeah, that's just not affordable to people that are in their 20s, early 30s with kids. Not a lot of people I know that age with kids. Anyway, damn, I still have freaking towels and shit on the clothesline that've been there for weeks, or when I was trying to deal with my flooding in my hall. I really need to take care of that. My neighbor's probably hating me for that. God, it smells really good here. It smells like pine. So yeah, I ended up having her drop me off at the QT. So she seemed really disappointed, but I told her that I really didn't want her to bring her by my place. And she's like, well, why not? And I'm like, well, I said, there's a chance Priscilla might be there. She's like, I thought you said she moved out. I said, she did move out. She goes, well, you guys are still, you're still involved with her, huh? And I was like, yeah. Said kinda. I said, it's not what it was, but yeah, there's still, we're still spending time together. And she's like, you should really dump her. You should just quit talking to her. She's not a nice person. And she told me about something, and I don't remember her saying it. I really don't. But it's the lawnmower again. I don't want to say what she said because I don't want to misquote. But she said I've known Stephanie a long time, and I was just, and for the most part we're just friends. I mean, we've never had any kind of relationship, there's that. More piles of branches over here. Ooh, fire truck rolling. She said, anyway, she was saying that one time that I was there hanging out with her at Wander Inn, and that Priscilla had come in, and then as I walked off with her, she said that she referred to Stephanie as something really derogatory. I forget what it was, but I told her I didn't. I said that's a really shitty thing to say. She goes, well, she said it to you, don't you remember? And I'm like, no, I don't. So, but I'm bothered by that. What the hell is going on over here? This looks like we got a little encampment going on just in the park right here. Right there. Yeah, there's definitely a little encampment happening there. I'm sure that's making the resident that's just going for a morning jog with her dogs uncomfortable. That's a dude. Still. Zoomed in too fast. It went out of focus. Can't seem to focus on that. Whatever's going on over there. Anyway, I don't feel like walking that way. That doesn't look cool at all. Anyway, I could tell Stephanie was really disappointed. She made it pretty clear she wanted to stay the night with me, and I made it pretty clear I didn't even want her going to my place or know where my place was, because I highly thought that Priscilla might be there, and I couldn't remember if I left the deadbolt open or not for her, but I think I probably did. A bunch of sirens to the south. Come on, focus, iPhone. Can you focus on that? There we go. Man, when my iPhone loses its autofocus at night, it just becomes a blurry mess. Anyway, Saturday night, I don't know what time I finally got home. We went for a long drive. It was probably nearly 4 in the morning. But that's when I checked. Finally, got home and checked the message. Saw if there was messages from Priscilla, and there was. And I forget what time they came in, but it was basically along the lines of, I was hoping you would come over, but I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. It's like, well, okay, that's fine. I mean, if that's what she was hoping for, she really should have asked me to do it much earlier and given me an address to come over to, but that didn't happen. So, now she did show up at my place on Sunday. My mouth was hurting from the broken tooth on Saturday night. Even, that even kind of put a damper on the time I spent with Stephanie, like rolling around every now and then. I'd just trying to start whimpering. She'd be like, "What?" I'm like, "My tooth hurts bad." Got home, took my antibiotics again. Helicopter in the sky. Got home, took my antibiotics again, and she saw the message from Priscilla, and I just went to sleep. Been a long night. I was tired. Probably uploaded another vlog to YouTube. I was still kind of playing catch up with my video files at that point. And fairly current on them now, though. Yeah, but yeah, I could tell when Stephanie let me off there at the QT. And of course we saw, the homeless zombies there in full force, and the security there, guy there trying to take over with it. And Stephanie said she wanted to go to the bathroom. She's like, "Hey, can you ask him if the bathrooms are open?" And they're not. For some reason, I guess a plumbing issue, the QT over on 44th Street, the bathrooms are closed. But I asked the security guy, he said no, and she just kind of looked at me really disappointed and drove off. And I went inside and got a couple drinks and some munchies, went home. Saw the text messages from Priscilla, took my pills, went to sleep. I'm trying to remember if I woke up to her or not. I think I did. I think she brought me some, Sunday. Sunday was when I pretty much from the point Stephanie dropped me off, with the exception of the one trek that I made over to QT, which I shot video of that, where I didn't see any zombies on the way there, but saw quite a few on the way back. Up to that walk, I didn't leave my bed. That's when the pain started to really kick in, and that whole first half of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that was just spent dealing with pain and agony. I need to go home. This has gone on entirely too long. Hour and 15 minutes. Like, who's going to watch one of my videos for an hour and 15 minutes? Not even me. So, long story short, I didn't even get to what all happened today. I mean, everything through police officers arresting the vagrant on the bus stop. That's all on my vlogs. You can watch those. Got to my dentist appointment I went home Handled a couple things, and then went to my dentist appointment. I expected this was going to be a simple extraction. I mean, they called it a simple extraction. This is going to be a simple extraction. Um, Now, in front of the tooth that was broken, I do have 2 teeth that are broken all the way down to the roots, but the roots are still there. Those ones just managed to rot out of my face without any real infection or abscess or without any. I'm not a dentist. I'm probably using the wrong words, but those managed to rot out of my face without any kind of real complication. I mean, there were some days they hurt, but they never got to excruciating to the point where I couldn't function. Eventually, all just kind of crumbled and fell out of my face. The roots were still there, and I use what's left of the roots to chew with. I mean, they're still functional for chewing somehow. Anyway, I know at one point the dentist was trying to remove those as well as the broken tooth. Yeah, I figured it would be a simple extraction. I'd be in and out in an hour. I was in the dentist chair, I want to say, for nearly 3.5 hours and to the point where the local anesthesia would wear off. So I'd start, screaming because I was in pain, and then he'd be back to shoving needles in my mouth. And nothing against the dentist. I mean, he's just, it was obviously a complicated thing, and the tooth kept breaking, but yet the roots were in really solid. And just, oh man, so much. It was just, the whole thing was traumatic. Because I mean, even when he manages to numb the pain, just all the pressure and the pulling and my hands in my mouth and my jaw wide open. I mean, 3.5 hours of having your jaw open makes your jaw hurt. Period. Anesthesia or not, local anesthetic or not. Yeah, it was just awful. So much drilling and cutting on that tooth, just trying to get it. Parts of it were just breaking apart on its own, but then other parts of it were still so solid that he was having drill on it and grind on it. And at one point, I'm just like, I can't take anymore. I need a break. And then him and the dental assistant probably left for like about a half hour. I could tell he was I could hear him taking care of other patients. And that was a longer break than I wanted. But I mean, obviously, I'm sure they didn't schedule me to be in there that long. Of course, I couldn't leave the chair. I'm still in the chair holding the vacuum, the suction hose. You need that. Just go ahead and put that in your mouth. Yeah. I've got a general just fear of dentists as it is. So the whole thing was traumatic. There came a point where, because of my mental health issues, there comes a point where if I have to deal with too much, I just have a full-on episode, breakdown, panic attack, whatever you want to call it. There came a point where he got most everything out. I feel there's still like one of the broken off teeth which is not bothering me at all in my mouth. He said he didn't, and it decided to not mess with that one just because they're having so much problem. He said the other one came out really easy while he was pulling out the broken tooth that was causing me pain, and he said in the x-ray he could see that there was some evidence of some infection going on in that root as well. It's all in the same area. Like I couldn't tell what was what, but he said that there was definitely some evidence of infection going on there, and that he anyway, he said that molar has 3 roots, and they were all super difficult to get out. The whole experience was just totally traumatic for me. He said he still had like half of a root from that tooth, I guess, that he was trying to get out, that was being very difficult. 3.5 hours in the dentist chair. I mean, granted, there was about a half-hour break in the middle of it, but 3.5 hours in the dentist chair, just being drilled on and injected, and drilled on and injected, and just the whole experience was just absolutely traumatic. There just came a point where I just couldn't take it anymore, and I was having all the episodes of one of my panic attacks, to the point where I was crying and shaking, and hi Sambo, did you miss me? Of course you did. You ate a few hours ago. You can chill. I wonder if Sheba's still in this box. No, Sheba came out the box. Yeah, she was. Yeah, Priscilla's still got stuff here. There's that Betty Boop thing. All this crap here. Bag of wigs. Glad she's at least wearing her natural hair these days. I like Priscilla a whole lot better in natural hair. Even if it is turning gray, we're in our 50s now. That's to be expected. Anyway, yeah, it was the dentist thing was just awful, and to the point I just had a full-on panic attack, and I was crying and shaking, and I'm trying to communicate what's going on, and the dentist just looked absolutely terrified, and he just stopped. You guys, look, he's just like, it's like, so I can recommend an oral surgeon and give you a referral to an oral surgeon. He goes, or I can have you come back here for a follow-up. I said, honestly, I'd just rather come back here. And I think at that point the dental assistant was trying to do the recommendation, and I told him that it's like, no, I'll come back there. And at one point I started shaking. I was just shaking. I was just literally shaking to the point I was convulsing. Like there was nothing he could do to work on my teeth further. Like I physically could not hold still. I was shaking my head. I was crying, and just my whole body was going through tremors. And I told him, yes, I see you, Sambo. You're so neglected, so lonely. Here's my soda from earlier. Still pretty decent. And for some reason, Mountain Dew doesn't go as flat as other sodas do. Yeah. Yes, I see you, Sambo. At least my cat loves me. At least this time Priscilla hasn't taken my cats, so that's a good thing. I got a feeling she's not allowed to have them in her new apartment. And I'm trying to articulate what's going on, but I'm probably just jabbering incoherently at this point. And the doctor I could just see in his face that he was just scared of the situation, like worried, like what he had caused. And not that he caused it, it just was what it was, And he, at one point, I managed to gather my wits about me enough to say, look, I'm sorry, Doc. He's like, no, you've been through a lot like this. You've been through a lot. You've been good. He goes, over 3 hours in the chair is a very long time. It's a long time for me to be working on it. I understand it's worse for you. It's like, no, you're fine, Doc. I got no issues with you. I said, I have schizoaffective disorder, and I'm having issues right now that you can't medicate, that you can't treat. And he kind of nodded his head. I said, I'm really sorry. I thought I could get through this, and I just can't. And he explained that most likely just leaving that root there, that it won't be a problem. He did say that it's adhered to the jawbone really, really. Yes, I see you, buddy. You're going to be fine. Guess he missed me. Anyway, I need to go in tomorrow. I schedule an appointment. I said, and at that point I was just not mentally coherent enough to even do anything. I said, I'll come back tomorrow. Walked out of the dentist, realized I still have my friend's truck. And when I have that bad of a mental breakdown, I can't drive. I can't even really walk right. I wasn't really walking right. I was kind of shuffling. I was struggling, honestly, to walk. And it's times like that I really wish I had more of a support system. Hi, Sheba. Did you miss me too? That's the other cat. That's Sheba. She's a big old fuzzball. What's up, girly girl? Sambo's purring. So I'll come back tomorrow. So yeah, I ended up shuffling home in the rain. Obviously, I didn't shoot video. I had a face full of gauze. My gums were bleeding from the extraction. I mean, I guess that's a normal thing after an extraction, but whatever. Yes, my goodness, you really putting your murder mittens on me, trying to get my attention? You scratch me, you're going to get attention you don't want, boy. Yeah, the dentist, anyway, I follow up tomorrow. It was a very difficult walk home. It was raining. I don't like walking in the rain, but I just couldn't control myself. Tried taking the bus from the 44 from McDowell to Oak, and when I opened up, by that time my Obama phone had died. I was trying to upload another one of my vlogs from this morning on their Wi-Fi there at the dentist office, and it was just taking so long that the battery ended up dying. In fact, I think I got off their Wi-Fi just because my own 4G through Assurance Wireless was faster, which Assurance Wireless is T-Mobile. I just know that they kind of Assurance Wireless customers are like bottom priority, where the Obama phone people were bottom priority, but it was uploading super slow. Although to be fair, that video was like damn near an hour long. So yeah, the battery ended up dying while that was uploading, and no, look, it's a dime. That's some money. So put that in my pocket. Yeah. Yeah, that was that whole situation was just definitely one of the most traumatic experiences I've ever had with a dentist. I do remember at one time freaking out when I was a teenager with the dentist and having a needle break off inside my gums. Yeah, I don't deal well with that kind of stuff. And maybe I'm just a wuss and a pussy, as Rob, my mechanic, told me, but I'm sure my mental health has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I know I have autistic sensory issues, and I'm sure that came into play. And there comes a point where just when I can generally maintain my symptoms of my schizoaffective disorder, but there comes a point where it all comes to a head, and I can't even really control my body, and I was that way all the way home. And then I got home to when I powered up, put my Obama phone on the charger. Oh, I was trying to catch the bus for some reason, and I can't imagine I'm out of data because I just got a text message from Mint Mobile telling me that they just re-upped my data. I mean, granted, it's only like 20 megs a month, I think, but I still should have been all right on my data, this much after the re-up. Do not come at me with your murder mittens. No. Asshole's gonna claw me because I'm not petting him. Not cool. Yeah, he couldn't for some reason the app would not load the bus stops. Could have been a Valley Metro issue. I've had that issue before. The Valley Metro app just not loading the data. So I couldn't really figure out how long it would be till the bus showed up. I wanted to ask two people that were sitting at the bus stop, but I was really not recovered enough to even talk coherently. I figured that would go wrong. And then after a while, as I was trying to work the app on my iPhone, I realized that, yes, I see you. I hear you. My goodness, you are needy right now. I realized that I still have Clorox wipes. That's a good thing. I realized that they were. I realized that they were. with other cleaning supplies under the sink. I realized that I realized that they were homeless people loitering at the bus stop. The argument the couple was having and the amount of stuff they were carrying. They were not really waiting for the bus there. So, anyway, I just proceeded to walk in the rain and made it all the way home. By the time I got home, I was just shaking like a leaf, and I just wanted to get undressed and climb in my bed and hurt to eat. I knew it was coming up on time for me to take my meds, but at that point I couldn't even deal with the thought of even trying to eat. So plugged in my Obama phone and was hoping to just pass out. But once it powered up, I got a text message from Amazon telling me that I was into negative UPT and that a disciplinary action or blah 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 was started, and I needed to respond immediately and go to this website. I'm not even ready to deal with websites or nothing, but there was a 1-800 number I could call for HR, and I called. Come to find out, and I went off at length about it the other day. When I called and they were supposed to put in my sick leave, apparently the person I talked to in India never put in my sick leave. Apparently when they passed me off to the other person to try and help me create a new password, instead of putting in the sick leave and then transferring to that, I guess they expected that once that happened, I'd do it through the app, but I never managed to do that. And then that person with the strong Indian accent that I couldn't understand, and of course the person I talked to today also had a strong Indian accent, which I couldn't freaking understand. It's just hard to have a conversation when every other sentence said I have to say, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, I can't understand you. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say? And they come back with me that something that I know is English, but damned if I can understand it. Like at one point, I'm not sure what she was asking me, but it sounded like she was saying, "Are you in Phoenix?" And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Yes, what?" I said, "Yes, I'm in Phoenix. So is GYR3. She's like, "Oh, no, not at Are you in Phoenix?" And I don't remember what she said, but I was hearing it as "Are you in Phoenix?" I don't recall what she was trying to say, but that wasn't it. Like, I just could not. I don't know why I struggle so hard to understand strong Indian accents, but I wish Amazon's phone bank for American customers was in America, so I could talk to Americans with American accents that I can understand. Anyway, she looked up and she did find out. She found a record of my. She goes, "Well, there's a record you called on Tuesday or on." She goes, "There's a record that you called on Saturday." Because I said, "Yeah, I noticed I got docked an entire day of UPT on Sunday night." I said, "But then it looked like they didn't dock it for me on Monday, and I figured it was a mistake, and I just handle it when I'm done with this. I'm back." Mind you, I can hardly talk. I've got a mouthful of gosh, like this, like so. I bless her for trying to understand me as well. I said, "I'm bleeding out of my mouth." I said, "I'm bleeding out of my mouth. I have a face full of gauze." I said, I need to see an oral surgeon." I said, "I'm in bad shape. Really bad shape." I said, I spent over 3 hours having my face drilled. Having my jaw drilled. I said, "Oh." I said, "I've been unable to work since Sunday." I said, "I'm on medication that says I can't operate heavy machinery. I'm not supposed to be driving. I certainly can't be operating a forklift. I'm a forklift driver." I said, I can't work right now." She's like, "Do you have paperwork?" I said, "Yes." I said, "I called on Saturday." She said the only thing they had record of, she did finally find a record of my call, but the record just showed that I can't believe Priscilla's still got so much of her diabetic supplies here. It's a CDR. Could be hers. Could be mine. That's a light. Could be hers. Could be mine. That's mine. Yeah, there was a time everything on these coffee tables were mine, and then she kind of invaded my space. Pretty sure that's mine from Cracker Barrel. Old-fashioned mint sticks. Those are delicious. All right, I'd like to share this momentous occasion with everybody on YouTube. It definitely needs wiped down really good, but one coffee table is cleared. Oh yes, one cleared off IKEA lack table. I think I'm gonna set up my computer in here tonight, this morning. Trying to get on my regular schedule. Definitely gonna do my show. I'm feeling so much better now, in spite of how bad the thing was with the dentist. The pain is gone. I mean, it's definitely time for me to. I don't know what time it is. That's 4:16 in the morning. It's definitely time for me to get some food in my belly and get some food in my belly and I took a drive to Circle K before I started this particular video and came back. Bought a bunch of booze out of the clearance aisle at Circle K at 36th and Oak. Good times. I'm hoping to get this place cleaned up enough that maybe I'll feel comfortable having a friend over and having some beers. That would be nice. Oh man, I lost my train of thought completely. Oh yeah, Amazon HR. So yeah, it was the point I was going to get fired. She said, but she did. She said she corrected all the UPT. She said she did find a record where I had called, but it only showed that I was trying to change that I had called HR customer support for help in changing my password. And I told her, I said I couldn't do it. So I understand that I have big fingers. I have big fingers, and I struggle with touchscreens. I struggle with apps, and I was in excruciating pain when I called. I told her, I said, I had to spend like 45 minutes on the phone with those people. And I kept telling them, my mouth hurts. I have a cracked abscess tooth. My mouth hurts. I need to take medication. I need to get off the phone and take medication. There's no way I can come into work till Sunday. So my appointment is on Wednesday. So I'm not going to be able to come into work at all this week. I had explained that first before she passed me on to the person over the password thing. So I'm very frustrated that Indian tech support or Indian HR rep for Amazon did not put in, just assumed I was going to handle it through the app once I got the password handled, and I had more than enough conversation with her that she could have put it in herself. Very unhappy with that person. And the last time I called, I didn't do it through the app. The last time I did it talking to a person. In fact, the last time I used the app, and the app is what had the rep that I talked to with the strong Indian accent, that was actually a lot helpful 3 weeks ago, a lot more helpful. They called me. I went through it with the app, and the app said, we'll be calling you. And I mean, they called me within 2 minutes. Didn't spend any time on hold. Talked to the person. They took the information I needed. Were real quick about it. I'm like, yeah, my tooth hurts. I can't really talk. Got the information I needed, and ended up getting automatically approved. Now, granted, I think I spent less time off work for the last dental disaster. No, I didn't. I took an entire week, come to think of it. Oh, no, I didn't ask for as much leave, though, because I think the first 2 days of the 4-day week, I was able to use VTO. And it was on the 3rd day. And I wasn't nearly in as much pain, because by the 3rd day, the antibiotics were kind of kicking in and kind of making the pain go away. And the pain, to the point where the antibiotics plus the painkiller was like me not being in constant excruciating pain, which was not the situation when I called last Saturday. Anyway, all's well as it ended well. I think it's been handled, although I did get another email saying,
that I'm a negative UPT and disciplinary action, blah, blah, blah. But the woman with the Indian accent that I talked to today, that she said she handled it. And granted, I was very, very much struggling because I still haven't recovered from my panic attack from being that I got at the dentist. I was still not fully recovered for it, so I'm still shaking and kind of crying, and I got a mouthful of gauze and my gums are bleeding. And she did say that it might take 42 or it might take 48 hours to get in the system. So, and by get in the system, I mean where the UPT is restored to the balance it was before last weekend. Um, and she did ask, if I went and talked to HR at my own department. I said no. I said I can't even go in the building unless I'm working. I said I can't go in the building if I'm working, and the medication I can't drive on it. I'm not supposed to be driving at all. And she's like, oh. So anyway, I think it's been handled. I think I'll be all right with my job. But yeah, nothing like having a panic attack over just a absolutely traumatic day at the dentist after previously having a very difficult morning because I locked my ass out of my apartment to come home and go through all the high stress and shit of finding out that Amazon's in the process of firing me because some phone rep in India didn't do what she was supposed to do when I called and made the call I was supposed to make last Saturday. I do trust this is going to work out with Amazon. I really do. I've heard similar stories from other coworkers of having problems with Indian tech support or Indian. I want to say tech. I think Indian phone person. I just think tech support, but Indian HR rep, and by Indian I mean in India. Um, Thanks for that, Jeff Bezos. Um, yeah, and then them. Uh, them hour and 43 minutes. Nobody is ever going to watch all of this, and this could take me forever. In fact, it might be too big for me to upload. This may be a lost vlog. I don't know. I might have to split it into two parts and put it on YouTube. Oh, man. Why am I still talking to myself? Why am I cleaning up this mess? I don't know. Because first and foremost, this vlog is my diary, and I definitely want to have a record of today and the trauma that was today. Oh, and that wasn't the end of it either. Um, yeah, maybe about an hour. I'm finally calming down and just relaxing in bed and trying to get over all the horrible, stress from Amazon and horrible stress from dental appointment gone wrong. And then Rob calls, and that's when he told me I was being a pussy. But he's like, where's my truck? Or I told him I left the truck. So I left the truck at the dentist office. As he expected I still had the truck, and which was obviously that was the plan. I told him, I said I was in no shape to drive any vehicle, and I said I certainly wasn't going to drive your vehicle. So and risk damage to it. So yeah, he was all cool about it. He decided to knock off work early that day. It's probably around 4 p.m. I'm thinking maybe 3:30 p.m. Probably closer to 4 p.m. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. Mid afternoon. Um, he he went ahead and he goes, you know what? He goes, don't worry about it. He goes, you did the right thing. And he goes, well, I'll just come pick you up and we'll go get the truck. So he did. He came here, drove my Saturn here. Said that it indeed was the wiring, that there was some wires that were crossed in the rebuilt harness. Because I had to have all my wiring, kind of rebuilt from scratch because it was just so damaged. But yeah, and the rebuilt wiring and the relay that he had replaced that was causing the AC not to work. I'm not sure what he did to the AC, but the AC is blowing ice cold now. But yeah, he said that it was a problem with the fan, that the fan was not cycling. He said he checked the rest of the cooling system, that there's no leaks whatsoever. I'm like, dude, how did I lose that much coolant? He goes, well, if you overheated it that much, it boiled, it would have boiled out. But he said he checked it and there's no leaks, no problem with the thermostat, and everything's good in the coolant system. And I did notice that earlier when I drove it. I went for a drive about 1:40 in the morning. Bought a bunch of discount drinks from Circle K. Um, the temperature gauge was running a lot lower than it has been, which is a good thing. So yeah, car's driving like a dream. He was actually driving. He drove back to the dental office, got his truck, and then I drove. I think I just drove straight home from there. I'm trying to think if I drove anywhere after I left the dentist office. I don't think I did. I think I just went straight home. I still was kind of shaken up, but it was good to see Rob. It was good to see my car. It was good to be back in my car. I'm always uncomfortable driving other people's vehicles, and I really don't like trucks. So, um, but yeah, it ended up not being an issue. Um, with the truck and then Rob. Thank God, Rob's more than a mechanic. He's actually a friend of mine, so that helped. But of course, he told me he told me that what I really needed to. He goes, "You'll be fine. Just have Priscilla come over here and give you a BJ. You'll be fine." I'm just like, God, I wish. It's like, well, she'll do you. She'll do you good. And when she came over, she didn't. She pretty much just straight up denied me. She did bring me some cheese soup a couple hours later. 3 hours later, she brought me some cheese soup, which was good. I think I still get a little bit left over. But before that, actually, I think on the way home, I did stop. I did make one stop. I did stop at QT on the way home after picking up my car, or after taking Rob to get the truck and then driving my truck back from the dentist. I did stop at the QT and I got some, I forget what they're called. There's a snack that's basically like they got two variations. One's pepperoni and the other one's salami wrapped around cheese, like cheese sticks. It's a little bit pricey, but using up the remainder of my EBT card, I now have less than $10 on my EBT card, but whatever, it's helping me get through this month. But yeah, I bought 4 of those. Those are a pricier snack than I normally get, but I figured it was one of the few things that was shaped in such a way where I could get some nutrition out of it and eat through the right side of my mouth while the left side of my mouth was still bleeding and full of gauze. And then take my pills, since it was time for me to take my pills, which I did. So I don't take my pills on the empty stomach and get all freaking sick from it. Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, Priscilla definitely let me down, and then I came here. It's like I had such a traumatic day, and what do I get from Priscilla but just a ration of shit about blah blah blah. You were on my dental insurance and blah blah blah. You did this and you did that and you did this to me, and I need more support from you as well. Gave her a gift I bought her Saturday. Probably should have just put that on eBay and sold it. At this point, I regret giving it to her. But anyway, yeah, could have really used some physical love to kind of take the edge off of what a traumatic experience the whole Amazon thing was, or the whole dentist thing was, and the whole stuff I just told about. Would have been nice to tell her that and get that off my chest, but she didn't want to hear about it. She just wanted to bitch and complain about this is all your fault. And granted, I mean, yeah, it's ultimately, I guess it is my fault. I should have taken better care of my teeth, but Jesus Christ, traumatic day. Could you give me a little, be a little more supportive? You're allegedly my lover. Could I get a little loving, please? Is that too much to ask? She made it clear it was too much to ask. Blah blah blah. Hot flashes. Blah blah blah. Trying to put this together in my apartment. She's showing me pictures of her kitchen. It's all immaculately clean. She's trying to build this like kitchen cart thing. I don't know where she bought it from. Meanwhile, like 90% of this mess in the kitchen here is crap she's left behind. I mean, that's, God, that's even some of her mess on top of my mess. The scooters are mine. One of my vlogs, you can see when I found that bird scooter, and somebody told me I shouldn't pick up trash like that. I'm going to rebuild that bird scooter. I am. That's going to get done. I don't know when, but someday I'm going to rebuild that bird scooter. But what, Sambo? I heard him. Heard him crying out to me. Did I say I found my headphones? I found my headphones. That's a good thing. Anyway, she, highly disappointed with Priscilla. I just really need, I mean, I'm glad she brought me some soup, but, you know, what I really needed was some loving and some emotional support. What I really didn't need was to be lectured and chewed out and bitched at and denied sex. She's been texting me, showing me the progress on her kitchen island. Not even, whatever. You want me to care? Come suck my dick. That's where I'm at with her. Anyway, here's my gauze. It's so gross. Two of those big bloody gauze balls. I need to throw those away. It stopped bleeding enough. I think I'm past the point of needing the gauze. At any rate, I've been wearing it since I woke back up at about 1 a.m. I can't believe I recorded for this long. Kind of cool. The iPhone lets me record this long, though. Anyway, if you actually listen this long, thanks for caring. Appreciate it. And 1.7x. Well, I had it slightly zoomed. I had it zoomed at 1.7x that whole time. I had no idea. Moved my I moved my suitcase full of clean laundry that I haven't put away right there, and Sambo loves it. It's like his dais. Rawr, got you, big kitty. Yes, you're a good boy. I love you. Anyway, thanks for listening. I think that's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much everything that happened Saturday night, all week. Today's drama, every bit that wasn't actually included in my vlogs this morning. What? Sambo's got a lot to say. Plop. You're on your dais. Plop. No? Now you're going to come back over here? That you're going to plop down on a suitcase. I know you like to plop on a suitcase. What? He has a lot to say sometimes. What? Anything you want to tell everybody on YouTube? Huh, Sambo? It's like, no, you jerk. Pet me. Pet me, pet me, pet me. You'll hear him purring. This guy purrs loud, and sometimes he snores loud. When I woke up, he was snoring. Anyway, thanks for watching. I had a lot to get off my chest today. And I'm going to do some cleaning in here. I really am. I'm going to try to set my computer up on that table I just cleaned up, so I can finally read the complaint in the homeless in the zone lawsuit against Phoenix. And got quite a bit to do, not the least of which is cleaning. God, and how many weeks ago did I do a video saying I was going to clean up this corner? I got it better, and then it kind of went downhill. I managed to get access to the top drawer. I do have clean pants and shorts in there, so that's something. Gonna plop down on your suitcase? No? No?